December 2, 1993. A body lies sprawled across a red clay rooftop in Medellín, Colombia. His shirt is drenched in blood, a bullet through his ear, his lifeless eyes staring at the sky. For some, this was the long-awaited death of a monster. For others, it was the fall of a folk hero. But as news spread across the world, whispers began to circulate. Did Pablo Escobar, the world's most notorious drug lord, really die that day? Or was this his greatest escape? Tonight we uncover the rise and fall of Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria, the boy who dreamed of power, the man who built a cocaine empire, and the legend who left behind unanswered questions. Pablo Escobar was born on December 1, 1949, in the Colombian town of Rio Negro. He grew up in nearby Medellín, a city of bustling markets, crowded hillside neighborhoods, and constant noise. As a boy, Escobar looked ordinary: slim, dark-haired, mischievous eyes. His clothes were simple, plain shirts, hand-me-down pants, and worn sandals. The dusty streets of Medellín were his playground, the smell of fried arpa and street vendors filling the air. But even then, he was restless. He told friends, "I will be the president of Colombia, or a millionaire by 30. His ambition showed early. He sold fake diplomas, ran petty scams, even stole tombstones to resell. By his teens, Pablo was stealing cars, running cigarettes, and building connections with smugglers. It was a small-time hustle. But Medellín in the 1970s was about to change. By his late 20s, Escobar had traded street scams for a far more lucrative product: cocaine. At first, it was small, suitcases stuffed with powder, hidden compartments in car tires, tiny planes ferrying shipments into Miami. But the US market exploded. Cocaine wasn't just profitable, it was unstoppable. Pablo co-founded the Medellín cartel, a network of traffickers that quickly became the most powerful criminal syndicate in history. By the early 1980s, Escobar was in his early 30s. His appearance was now unmistakable: thick curly hair, fuller face, and his iconic mustache. He dressed in patterned button-up shirts, gold chains, and casual slacks. He blended wealth with humility, looking more like a neighborhood businessman than a global kingpin. The environment around him was both humble and extravagant. In Medellín's bars and jungle airstrips, deals were struck. At night, maps trace cocaine routes across oceans: Colombia to Miami, New York, Los Angeles. At its peak, the cartel controlled 80% of the world's cocaine trade. Escobar's fortune soared to $25 to $30 billion. He was so rich that rats literally ate millions in cash he couldn't store. Escobar wasn't just rich. He was untouchable. At 35, Escobar had transformed. His rounder face and confident smile made him instantly recognizable. He often wore polo shirts in pastel colors, leather jackets, and casual trousers, not the flashy suits of a gangster, but the attire of a man who wanted to be loved. And for many, he was. Escobar built entire neighborhoods for Medellín's poor. He handed out food and money. He funded soccer fields and schools. He paid for medical care. To families who had nothing, he was Robin Hood. But the environment around him told another story. On one side, Hacienda Nápoles, Escobar's sprawling estate. Vast green fields. A private zoo with hippos, elephants, and giraffes. Luxury cars, swimming pools, and even a bullring. On the other, Medellín's slums. Crowded brick houses stacked on hillsides. Kids playing barefoot in dirt alleys. Families surviving on scraps. Escobar straddled both worlds, saint to some, devil to others. By his late 30s, Escobar's power turned bloody. His motto became infamous: plata o plomo. Silver or lead. Take the bribe or take a bullet. Physically, Escobar still looked approachable: mustache, casual button-downs, jeans. But behind the calm face was a warlord. Sometimes he wore bulletproof vests under his clothes, knowing death was always close. The environment around him was pure chaos. Colombia became a war zone. Judges were assassinated in the streets. Journalists disappeared. Politicians were gunned down. In 1984, Justice Minister Rodrigo Lara Bonilla was murdered. In 1989, a presidential candidate, Luis Carlos Galen, was assassinated at a campaign rally. Escobar even ordered the bombing of an Avianca airliner, killing over 100 innocent passengers. Medellin's streets turned into battlegrounds, car bombs exploding, buildings reduced to rubble, children crying as funerals lined the city. Colombia wasn't ruled by its government. It was ruled by Escobar. By 1991, Escobar was too powerful to ignore. The Colombian government, pressured by the US, demanded his surrender. But Escobar, now in his early 40s, negotiated his own terms. He agreed to prison, but he built it himself. La Cathedral was unlike any prison in the world. Perched high in the green hills of Envigado, it looked more like a mountain resort than a penitentiary. Escobar, heavier now, balding slightly and always smug, lived in comfort. He dressed casually: polo shirts, slacks, even sandals. Inside he had a nightclub, a soccer field, a billiards room and gourmet chefs. From La Cathedral, he continued to run the Medellín cartel, ordering hits and moving cocaine. When two of his associates betrayed him, Escobar had them tortured and killed inside his so-called prison. The government realized the sham. But when they tried to move him in 1992, Escobar slipped away into the hills. And the hunt began. Escobar's empire was crumbling. His appearance reflected the decline. His once confident face now looked worn and tired. His hair unkempt, beard scruffy, his body heavier but restless. He dressed in plain clothes, dark jackets, simple shirts, sneakers. No more gold chains, no more showmanship. The environment was equally bleak. No more sprawling mansions or zoos. Instead, safe houses hidden in crowded neighborhoods. Narrow alleyways painted with graffiti. Stray dogs barking, radios crackling with news of his manhunt. Vigilante groups like Los Pepes, funded by rivals, hunted him. They burned his properties, executed his associates, and terrorized his family. The man who once ruled Medellín now lived like prey, moving from one crumbling safehouse to another, clutching a pistol at night, never knowing who would betray him. Escobar turned 44 on December 1, 1993. The next day, he made a phone call to his son. That call was traced. Police surrounded a middle-class neighborhood in Medellín. As they closed in, Escobar tried to escape across the red-tiled rooftops. Neighbors watched from below as gunfire erupted. Escobar, sweat-soaked, wearing a casual shirt, blue jeans and sneakers, scrambled desperately. Minutes later, his body collapsed on the rooftop, riddled with bullets. One fatal shot pierced his ear. The king of cocaine was dead. Or was he? Escobar's death left behind more questions than answers. Some say the police killed him. Others insist he shot himself to avoid capture. His family still swears he took his own life with a pistol. Billions of dollars remain missing. Buried in fields. Hidden in walls. Farmers in Colombia have dug up barrels of rotting cash to this day. And then there's the conspiracy theory that the body on the rooftop wasn't Escobar at all. that he staged his death, escaped with the help of corrupt officials, and lived under a new identity. The Medellín he left behind was divided. Some celebrated, others mourned. Graffiti honoring him appeared on walls, while politicians called for his memory to be erased. But one thing was certain: Pablo Escobar, even in death, was larger than life. Pablo Escobar rose from nothing to become the most powerful drug lord in history. He gave food to the poor and ordered the deaths of presidents. He built cities and destroyed them. He was a man of contradictions, saint to some, monster to others. But as his body lay on that rooftop, lifeless at 44, his secrets did not die with him. His fortune remains hidden. His conspiracies remain unsolved. And his legend continues to grow. Which leaves us with one final question. Was Pablo Escobar truly defeated? Or did he vanish into the shadows, leaving behind the greatest escape of all time?
For more interesting true crime stories, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.